declarations of interest? There are none. Questions on notice pursuant to Council Procedure Rule 38?
None received, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. And then next item, then the report of the Director Finance and IT and Section 151 Officer A1, External Auditors Planning Completion and Annual Reports relating to the years 2020 to 21, 2021 to 22, and 2022 to 23. And these are being presented for consideration and approval for those years. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. It's a bit monstrous one, so apologies for the short notice, but we were sort of desperate to get this report to you and get this meeting underway today so we can sign off the 3 years of outstanding accounts. Hopefully, we'll have a lot more discussions as we go forward, but I know on the cover report, pages 18, 19 through a couple more pages, sort of set the context of where we are with the backstop dates, external audit delays, and hopefully gives you a good background to where we find ourselves and what happens with a disclaimed opinion and going forward, so that's helpful. But we'll touch on that in much more detail as we go through, because KPMG are planning on presenting the 3-4 position early in the new year, so we can touch on that again. I would say I'll hand over in a moment to our friends from BDO. I think it's worth saying that at the end we'll just run through the recommendations. There's 3 years of accounts here. There's an annual report. Hopefully, if you're happy that we just sort of go through those recommendations at the end in that kind of really considered way, so we can make sure that we've covered everything that's required with the recommendations. But without any further ado, Aphrodite, are you happy to take the committee through the 3 or the 4 reports with the individual years and the annual report? If you're happy to do so.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
can you hear me okay?
Aphrodite, won't be a mo. Bear with us. Thank you. I'll just say something, just so no, it's not all gone quiet, and things are still working, so I'll make sure I say something every 30 seconds. But we'll be with you in a moment. I'll just say something again, just to make sure. We're still working along here. So yeah, hopefully a few minutes and we'll resolve the issue. that'd be great. And thank you for your patience being with us there. Thank you, appreciate that.
Are there any questions for Aphrodite? Yep, Councillor Platt.
Chairman, thank you very much. Apologies for being a few minutes late this morning. Aphrodite, thank you for your report. My first question is, could you just confirm the cost of the fee for this particular year's report? Are you able to give a ballpark figure? I think I know the answer, but I just wanted to confirm with yourself. Thank you, Chairman. If I can continue. My feeling on this is really that's what underlines the whole issue here. There's not enough, and this is across the sector, and it's been recognised and is being addressed, but 44,000 doesn't cut the mustard with trying to do this amount of work, and therefore other accounts for auditors across the country, which attract a higher substantial fee, therefore have seen perhaps a little bit of a preference to their work being done as opposed to ours. The NHS is a good example. I think the backlog deadline is a wonderful excuse to use. I'm not being disrespectful, but it's become as a very convenient opportunity to use the backstop deadline as the reason why we weren't able to complete on various things. BDO have come to numerous councils across the country asking for more time, asking for more time, asking for more time. So, you know, if there had been more time, I don't think the result would have changed. We'd have just been waiting longer. I welcome the fact that we've got to where we are and that things will be drawn a line upon, but I think it's important to note that the fee reflects, you know, I think the biggest issue here. If the fees had been higher, there may have been more of an incentive to get this across the line. Thank you.
Did you want to come back on that, Aphrodite? So, for instance, agree with Councillor Platt on what he has said, because one of the issues that did come out of this was the floor plans issue, which only recently came out at one of our meetings. And if this was something that was being discussed by yourselves way back in 2021, then why wasn't it brought to this committee earlier? Thank you. Are there any further questions? Yes, Councillor Fairley.
Thank you, Chairman. If I could just ask our officer, what impact do these disclaimers have on this organisation based on the responses that have just been given? Thank you.
I think one of the key things coming out of the resolution to the external audit days and the backstop is that whatever is reported, it makes it quite clear what the issues are. And you'll see that in a moment as well. The disclaimed opinion is not meant to be a representation of us. in terms of tendering district council. And again, up and down the country, local authorities will find themselves in the same position. Many councils find themselves in the same position, which is helpful in the same sort of position as others. But I think transparency, reporting. I mean, you know, these accounts have come forward. It's quite clear the two issues that are outstanding, and you'll see that again when we work with our new auditors, KPMG. I know Jodie's here today, moving that forward as well. So I think on its own, with as long as it's clear what the issues are, I think that's fine. I think in the report it talks about the issues of a disclaimed opinion, and there is clearly now a 1-2 year build-up of assurance again, which we can't do anything about, but make sure we build that assurance up and report what assurance has been given. So rather than sort of say that it's a disclaimed opinion with no context around it, I think it's really important we provide that context, and also around what assurances are we going to build up with the committee over the next 1 to 2 years. I think it's really important, and that's the discussion we're having with KPMG as well going forward. Is it'll be disclaimed, but tell you what the undisclaimed bit, if that's the right phrase, about we've got assurance here, but we're still working to get assurance here. That's really, really important to make sure that the audit committee understand where we are. But again, for me, from a personal perspective as well, is I think the value for money, so attachment 7, so the annual report, which Aphrodite will take us through in a mo, where it talks about our financial sustainability, our financial standing, that's really, really crucial, because at the moment you've had 4 years as members of TDC with just my assurance when I submit the accounts to full council. You've got my assurance and my statements that I have to make. So it's really, really important that actually now you've got that independent view on where we are as a council. And again, you're going to get another one from KPMG shortly as well. So you're going to get one from BDO today, and secondly going forward. So I think where we are, and I think, yeah, transparency, making sure you're fully aware of where we are and what we're still getting assurance on, I think is crucial. Hopefully we get that right over the next 12 months, and every meeting we'll have a discussion around that as well. How far we you know, what's outstanding and how we're doing. This one's still there. The gross internal floor area is still there, still an issue. We're still working on that, and we need to give you the assurance on that as we go through. Is that a helpful explanation? Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. Yep.
Yeah, I just really want to make a comment, really. I think I said at the informal meeting last week that we're in a better place than what we have been, and I think that what has shown up is the robustness of our internal deliberations and the actions which we've taken. So I think that whilst it's unfortunate that we're in the position, but I think everything points to really positive and robust performance is going to go forward.
Yeah, I think Richard and the team have been working really, really hard to get all this up to scratch. So, yeah, I think we're getting somewhere, obviously. Any further questions? No? We'll carry on then. Thanks, Aphrodite. Please. Are there any further questions? No, we'll continue with the next report then, Aphrodite. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I will just ask one question. You did mention about optimizing our funds that that aren't used to the full. Where I know you're not a financial advisor, but do you have any recommendations for that? Okay, that's fine. Any further questions? Councillor Platt?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Very pleased to hear the mention of not using non-council emails. That's very often a backdoor to, to fraud, especially with things like pensions. Can I just ask, it's just a little bit of clarity on page 260, please, because it might just be me, but I've got a little bit here where it's, where is it now? Property, plant and equipment. The net book value increased by 26.88 million to 261.539 million. Is that spot, as Alan referred to it, is that dot on the 261, is that 261 million?
Can I please? Apologies.
So what page is that? What's on page?
To page 260, under the council's overall balance sheet, new or significant changes in liabilities, assets, property, plant and equipment, there's an increase of 26.88 million to what appears to be, I could be wrong, 261,539,000.
The latter looks the right figure to me. Let's have a quick look. I'm going to go back to the balance sheet.
Wonder where all our assets are at £261 million. I know Marks and Spencer's and Clack.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll come back to that in a second before we go for the recommendations and make sure we answer that question. Is that okay? As I'm flicking through before we do the recommendations.
Could I then also just ask about materiality? Because on the report, I think I'm used to it, but it'd be good to actually for the committee to hear about the materiality aspect of your report, Aphrodite. Thank you.
Yes, that was very helpful. Thank you. Any other questions while we're on? Yeah, go back. Yep. Richard's coming back to the previous question.
The trouble having three accounts, I was looking for the answer in the wrong set of accounts. There's a lesson for me, isn't it? So I was looking for the query. I was looking in the earlier set of accounts. Yeah. So on page 278, there's a balance sheet. That's what I was furiously trying to find, that balance sheet, which I failed miserably earlier on. On 278, there is the figure. So basically on the 260 page, it's an increase of 26 million. So it's gone. So on the top first line on page 278, it's the 261539's in there, which you can see on the right hand side, and it's increased by 26.880 from the 234659 from the prior year. So it's the increase figure, the change between 2 years. Does that help? Does it answer? Yeah, of course can. Yeah, of course can. So page 278, top right figure 261539. So that's the figure that was on page 260, and 260 referred to the increase. So it went from 234659 in the left hand column. So it's gone up by 26.880 million as referenced on page 2660. So it's the increase that's been referenced earlier in the accounts. So it hasn't gone from to, it's the increase between the 2 years. So the 261539 million is the correct figure at the end of March 2022.
Okay, any further questions? No? Okay.
I was going to say, we've gone through all of the 4 reports. Hopefully the questions have been answered satisfactorily. I did say at the start it'd be helpful, I think, if we just slowly go through the recommendations, just to make sure. There's a lot of references to pages and bits and pieces. If you're happy, just we sort of work our way through those a year at a time, if that's okay. So if I go back to page 16. So if we're taking the year ended the 31st of March 2021 first, so we're asking the committee to consider and note the contents of the report Aphrodite's taken us through. And then we're asking for the approval of a management representation letter. Hopefully everyone's referenced that and looked at that on page 33 to 35 of Aphrodite's report. And then we're asking you to authorise myself and Chairman to sign that letter that we can then forward on today to BDO, and then agreeing the publication of the audited statement of accounts, which includes any amendments that we've made in consultation with BDO, and importantly as well, the annual governance statement on pages A1 to A18 of the same attachment. So we'll be doing the same for each year, but they're the 4 things we're asking the committee to do. So it's the accounts, letter of representation, annual governance statement. We're asking you to approve those for 2020-21. So if we can move and second that.
Yep, I'm happy to move that. I need a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Steady.
Chairman,
Yes.
do you mind I just ask a bit of clarity around that? So your A is asking us to consider and note the report. So we're not approving anything, we're just noting it.
You are, yep.
Right,
The auditor's report, yes. Yep.
We're just noting, okay. B, we're approving management representation letter from yourself.
So it's in the report of BDO, but it's a letter that we would have to submit, signed to BDO to enable them to issue their opinion. Yes, you're approving that.
Great. Then we're asking, we're authorising yourself and the chairman to sign a representation letter to the external auditor.
Yeah. The same, yeah.
Just give me a bit of background on that letter, please.
It's the same letter.
Same letter.
So sorry, we split into two. So approving it and then giving us the authority to sign that. You're happy that myself and the chairman would sign that? Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the same letter, yeah.
And then we're just approving the publication of the accounts. So we're not agreeing the accounts because we can't agree the accounts. We're approving the publication. Is that correct?
Approving for publication. So you're approving both the way. You're approving the accounts, and then that we publish those.
How are we approving accounts that have not been approved by an external auditor?
Well, I sign them off. I have to sign them off as true and fair still. So regardless of what the audit opinion is on it, I have to sign those off. So in my statutory role, I would have to publish accounts, and I'm happy to sign those as true. They represent true and fair position of Tendred District Council. So I have to sign that regardless of what the external position is on that one.
So on your approval, we are approving the accounts.
You are in effect, yeah. If you're happy, we're happy that yeah.
Right, okay, that's clearer, thank you.
Is that, sorry if it felt...
No, it's fine, it's good to get it out there, that's what, you know.
Yeah, thank you, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll move that one.
If you're happy to do it year by year, that'd be great, just so we can be clear on that one. So that's 2020, 21.
Need to vote, Chairman.
Oh, yeah. Show of hands, please.
That's unanimous, Chairman.
Chairman, for the sake of brevity, does exactly the same apply to the next item?
The next two items, yes.
Right, thank you.
So if again, if I can slowly go, I mean, forgive me, but and then for 2021, 22, the same again. So exactly the same recommendations, same report, same set of accounts. We're asking your approval again of the contents of the auditor's reports, management representation letter, signing of that, and approving for publication the actual full accounts, including the annual governance statement, which has to be signed by the leader and the chief executive as well. So again, if you're happy to move and vote on that.
Can we move the two together, or no, it has to be separate?
I'm being really pedantic, aren't I? So forgive me for that. But if you can do one at a time, if that's okay, thank you.
So I'm happy to move that. And a seconder again, please.
Councillor Morris.
So, yeah. And show of hands again.
Unanimous again, Chairman.
And you'll be pleased to know it's the last year. So 2022, 23, again asking the committee the same thing. Notes and considered report, approves management representation letter, and the signing of that and the publication of the accounts, including the annual governance statement as well for 2022, 23. So again, if you're happy to...
Yep, again, happy to move them. And a seconder, please. Yep, Councillor Morrison. And show of hands. Thank you.
And that takes on to item 4, which is the report that Aphrodite took the committee through the last report, which is the annual audit report, which is considers and notes that report.
Yep. And again, I'm happy to move that. And seconder, please. Councillor Steady. And show of hands, please. Thank you. Well, thank you for attending online. Our next scheduled meeting then here is at the Town Hall at 10:30 on Thursday, the 30th of January 2025. And can I wish everyone a happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year. And yeah, enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.